Hello friends, and welcome back to another video. I am so tired, you guys, because I have been making face masks all week long. Monday to Friday, I spent almost all of my time on a sewing machine. And I began this week not knowing how to use the sewing machine. So it's been a wild ride. And that is why I did not release any YouTube videos this past week, because I did not have the time to film, to edit, the number of hours it takes me to put that together. I spent all of my energy, all of my time on making technically 53 face masks. So I just wanted to, update you guys on where I've been. I've just been here sewing my little heart out. And number two, I would love to show you how to make your very own face mask. So this is going to be a tutorial, and I'll just show you guys what I've been doing. It took me a number of tries to figure out the best method to make these and to be able to make them as quickly as humanly possible, but my God, it took me so long. I mean, there was one night where I was up until 3 a.m. Roll the clip. Hello everyone, it is 3 a.m. We have been sewing for the last 24 hours. I don't know. Close. It's been a very long, it's just taken days. It's like 11 a.m. Yeah, because 11 a.m. I posted on TikTok and then I started sewing. It's 3 a.m. And we are now at the point where I broke my sewing machine needle, but luckily there's a replacement, but that's where we stopped. And I have all of these masks just here in this lovely pile. Oh my God. So we had to make all of these, and I sewed it onto each one after sewing each one first and cutting it out into the new shape, because the original shape they're cut into was too big. So that's the setup, and we're almost there. Still have to do all of these. So I got things pinned on. There's maybe I want to say 15, not even 15 left to sew. So yeah, that's then I will just have to iron pleats and sew them all, 50 of them, one more time. Then we're done. That's all. So just a little vlog. I didn't vlog any of the rest of this, but I just felt like it had to be said that this has been going on, and it's 3 a.m. and I'm so tired. Okay, I'm going to sleep. Yeah, so I feel like you can see it in my eyes how tired I am. But I'm here. I am making this video. I'm still doing my Disney bound videos on TikTok. And you know what, you guys? It's gonna be great. So let's learn how to make a face mask. Enjoy. Welcome everyone to the dining room portion of this video. Okay, so let's begin. First, you'll have your sewing machine. Or if you don't have a sewing machine, you can always hand stitch. I did learn how to use my sewing machine specifically to make these. So that's up to you if you want to do that or not. I'm not here to judge. So the first thing that you really want to do is figure out your fabric. So here I've got little cotton squares. They say that it should be 100% cotton. If it's like double cotton or whatever, that's even better, okay? So what we're gonna be doing is taking this and we're gonna cut it with our pattern. So the way that you're gonna wanna make your pattern, this is my little guy, and I followed a video that Joanne's put up, which helped me so far, but then it was useless because I did not have elastic, and nowhere has elastic anymore. So this pattern, it was really easy to make, so I'm just gonna show you guys an example of how to make your own pattern. So go ahead and grab your ruler, a pencil, and a piece of paper. And I'm just going to go ahead and mark out my pattern here. So first I marked where 9 inches across was, and then I'm going to go up 6 inches. So it's going to be 9 by 6, and that's just going to be the shape of our little pieces of fabric that we're going to be using for the mask. So I'm drawing that all out, and then I'm just going to add, just to know where 1/4 of an inch is at the top and at the bottom, to know kind of how much room I have seaming wise to make sure that, you know, it looks good when it's finished. Then just go ahead and cut that out with your scissors. So now that we have our pattern, let's go ahead and pull out the fabric that we're going to use. I'm just using one of these little fabric squares, but we're going to need to head over to the iron and get this ironed. So let's just give this a quick little iron so it's nice and flat. Now that our fabric has no wrinkles, let's go ahead and take it back over to the mat, and we're going to pin the pattern onto the fabric. So I'm just using these little pins going right through the paper into the fabric and right back out the top. And then once I have that all securely on there, I'll cut it with scissors, and then I'm going to have a nice little 9 by 6 rectangle. Okay, now it's time to make the ties. Since we do not have elastic, we're going to have to use fabric in order to make these. So I'm making about 2-inch strips of fabric here. Before I was using quite long fabric, but I've run out of that. So we're just going to have to put strips together in order to make them longer. So we have them, I'm cutting them out here, all good to go. And then what you're going to do is you're going to take your iron and we're going to fold it over a couple of times here. So first, just flatten it. And then what you're going to do is fold it over right down the middle. And from that point down the middle, we're going to iron it. And what we really want to do is to take each individual side of this fold and fold it again. So I'm folding the outside into that middle line that I have made by ironing it exactly down the middle. So it's like we're folding each half of it in half, if that makes sense. So we're going to do this on both sides. I'm going to iron it down just to make sure that it stays, because it likes to be quite difficult. And now we're going to go ahead and fold those two folded sides onto each other. So we're folding the fold. So many folding things here. And then we're going to iron it down so that it is as flat as possible. Alright, so let's go ahead and sew this thing together. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sew the one 9-inch side that I do not have connected, leaving those two 6-inch sides still open. So just one line of sewing down that side. I'm going to cut the threads, and then I will go ahead and flip it inside out. So we're going to have the stitch on the part that we're not going to be showing on the front of the mask. And then let's go ahead and take it over to the iron to make sure that it lays nice and flat. Because what we're going to do next is attach those ties. So to attach the ties, we're going to take each one, and that crease that we've made, we're going to go ahead and fold it over the fabric of the body of the mask. So it's basically like you're hugging it. So first we're going to find the center here. So I just put my little pin in the center, measuring on my little board I have here. And then I'm going to try and place each of the black ties in the center. So we're gonna hopefully have a pretty equal distance when we have all the ties on. So that's the top, and I'm just gonna go ahead and repeat the process for the bottom. Heading back on over to the sewing machine, we're just gonna sew all the way down the ties and into the body of the mask. So we're going all the way down. I'm gonna take out the pins as I go, but basically I'm sewing the tie directly onto the mask to make sure that it ain't going anywhere.
And then we're gonna finish it off. You can back stitch a little bit if you want to make sure that it's super secure at the end of the tie, but you don't have to. It'll stay together without it. So let's head back over to the ironing board, and we're gonna go ahead and create our pleats. So I'm just folding it here, and then I'm gonna go ahead and take the iron, and I'm gonna iron the pleats down so that way it stays pleated. It's kind of hard to do this without the iron. I tried to do it without it at first, following the pattern. I did not get very far. So ironing the pleats worked the best for me, so I suggest that's what you do as well. So now we're gonna head back over to the sewing machine and just go ahead and sew that pleat right into place. So we're sewing down that 6-inch side, just a straight stitch. Then we're gonna go ahead, and once we've got that side, we're gonna do the same thing on the other side. Once we have both sides sewn, what we're gonna do is actually flip it over, and we're gonna sew the back. So basically what we're doing is just taking that little bit of extra fabric from beyond where we've sewn our stitch. We're gonna fold it over, and then we're gonna sew it into place on the back there. And that's gonna make it just really nice and tight. And then we have a beautifully pleated mask right at our fingertips. So here's the finished product, the one that I made for the guy who purchased two for me. And then here is my Scooby-Doo mask that I have around for myself because I love Scooby-Doo.
And that's it. So that's how you make one. I hope that you enjoyed this tutorial. Feel free to share it with friends and family who might need a little bit of help in figuring out how to make their own face mask. You can also, obviously do the whole thing with hand sewing. You don't need to have a sewing machine to do it. But this is, a pretty wild time to be alive. It's really scary. It's very anxiety provoking. And for me, I've spent most of my time working and creating because for me, that's how I channel my, anxiousness about the world. So, even though I'm exhausted, I'm glad that I was able to make something that is going to help people. And I just hope that this can help you guys too by teaching you how to do it. So that's all for today. I promise that I will have great videos for you this coming week. I'm gonna do 2. I will make sure it happens, even though I have about 1,000,001 things to do. Some fun things, some thrifting hauls. But how could you do a thrifting haul, Kaz? Because I found a way. So expect that. And thank you so much for watching. So I will see you guys in my next video. But until then, stay sparkly. Bye-bye.